And I would like to welcome Dan Vykoukal, not Vykoukal, from NGO NaZemi. It's a Czech organization, Czech environmental organization, I would say. And they link actually the issue of education, responsibility for our behavior in an environmental way, and actually sustainability and change of our attitudes, which is closely actually connected with participatory and democratic education. So I think he can explain, or he can introduce himself and his organization much better than me. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Pavla, for introducing. Thank you for hosting this and inviting NaZemi into this dialogue about participation and how to enhance participation. Hello, everyone. I think I know some of you. I think either you from Brno or some Czech countries and organization which I know, and hello to the ones that I don't know yet. But I think the mood of this workshop will be more participatory itself. I hope so. Then I hope that we will dive into the dialogue. And like Pavla, as you described, we try in NaZemi actually to connect the personal responsibility with the topics in a word, and we did it with connecting it to the shopping values and such, but we kind of moved what kind of chocolate and what kind of clothes do we buy, but we kind of moved from this and we moved into the era more into the democratic education and education about climate justice, and also we moved into the era of the facilitation of processes of another for another NGOs, or facilitating the process that would be democratic and helping other groups to to manage themselves. And also we in last years we moved from the usual management style to self-management. I don't know how to say it, but we are non-hierarchy organization. We have we are 40 people in our organization, and we try to organize ourselves collectively and to share the responsibility and to find out the principles and praxis that would fit us and free us also. These are the changes that happened recently, 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. So I'll be talking about participation from these experiences. Also, I'd like to say that Martin Čech, who is in here, is also from NaZemi. So I'm happy that you're here. I don't know if you're willing to help me with this, but if you will have any ideas what to say, please do. I would be more than happy. And concerning one more thing, which is education, we for the last 2 years had a project that tried to evolve the praxis of critical education, which comes from more revolutionary backgrounds of South America, and it connects to the education to the education of the oppressed, which aims at empowering students and empowering people to actually engage into the society. So this also connects with participation. So when you guys wrote NaZemi that you needed a workshop, I volunteered and I tried to gather the wisdom from these parts, and this is what we are going to do, sharing. I like to share some of the principles and methods and techniques that we are working with usually, and also I write text from Ola. Okay, sorry. And I also would like to create a space for exploring the participation like experiences that we had, because I believe that each and every one of us had experiences with the participatory and collaborative education, or like working. So the aim of this workshop would be creating a map together of techniques and principles that are helping us to create an education that is more based on collaboration. Yeah. One of the things that will be maybe hard for me is that the English is my second language. So and I tend to speak really quickly, and when these things meet, it's creating a rubbish and a mess sometimes. So please, if something would be like missing or not understandable, let me know. I would really appreciate it. Okay. And just the last thing for the introduction, I tried to like wrote a question on that would be like the question to elaborate through this workshop. We don't have to like answer it right now, because we will be answering it, I hope, in this whole seminar. So, and this question is, what kind of educational mindset and set of tools we need so that education itself could create a culture of empathy, democracy, participation, and that could lead to shared visions of a good life. Like, this is something that I would love to talk about in here, and find praxis and principles that helps us to recreate educational praxis that would be like maybe more based on collaboration. So, and I'd like to start in just in couples. I don't know, I didn't ask Pavla if it's okay to divide. Yes, yes. Well, the first invitation is let's talk in pairs about a question that I will write in chat. It will work as some kind of evocation, because I believe that everyone has experience with participation and collaboration. And the question is, or like the invitation, please share with the other one, share a moment in which you've experienced participation or collaboration quality. When was it? Where was it? What was it like? How did it happen? Yeah, just like share some moments that were like that had participatory quality. And can we make a breakout rooms for 5 minutes? And okay, thank you. And is it clear, or does it need any more commentary? Just let me know, someone, if it was clear or not.
I just want to add that Ola is writing that she would like to be as a third person, because she cannot be fully active during the sharing. So it's information just for Pavla, I guess.
Okay, okay.
And then one more question: are we going to share with others at the end of the? Yeah, okay. So we should also decide who is gonna share with other people.
Thank you. No. We don't. We will share some of these things, but the aim of this is just to like get in touch with how was it when I was in participation moment, and what was the moment look like. And after that, we will have like this 1 hour together, and we will talk about these experiences and try to take the principles and methods from these experiences and put them together. So you don't have to decide who is going to talk and about which moment.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are thrown back like from the pairs into the container here. So I just want to like a quick question on how Did the dialogue bring anything new, like about what participation is? And if yes, like raise your hand to the floor. This is not floor. This is the ceiling, and if not, like put it down on the floor, like of your screen. So did it bring anything new about participation?
Yeah.
So you can measure it with yourselves. Okay. Great, thanks. Well, right now, because these experiences that we've shared, we will try to talk one by one slowly and extract from these experiences the principles and the methods that are talking that are participative. This is the word that I cannot like spell much, or collaborative. And for this, I picked one of the tools to actually create a map together. So I will just like use the minute for the technical intro, how to use the Miro Board, in which I will invite you in a second. Yeah, here. So please, I'm sending in the chat like the Miro invitation. You will see some kind of board, something like Jamboard, but much more wider, so we can like create it together, and we can actually it will stay with us even if the seminar ends. Yeah, and I will just like invite you into how to use this one. So I see that, yeah, Esther is in. So I'll just like wait a second until you land in there.
Don't we need to have an account there?
I hope not. Yeah, maybe you need to maybe you need to use your Gmail. Is anyone having troubles like seeing the board?
Yeah, I need to check in.
Okay. Okay, sorry, something maybe changed. We used it last time when there was still coronavirus.
Oh.
So
I'm not sure about my role, whether am I an engineer or project manager. So
yeah.
there is other at the bottom.
Oh no, you need to sign in.
There are. Oh, okay. So I didn't scroll down. That was the problem. I thought that that's all. So, okay.
What is my role? I don't understand that. Oh.
I don't know. Maybe just use pick any. I hope.
Other at the end.
Other. Okay.
Other. Thank you.
There is like 6 of us already. Okay. Can you maybe inform me the ones that are not here? How are you holding up? Where are you?
We are. I mean, what is diad? Don't understand the word.
What is what? Sorry.
Diads. It's a couple. It's a pair.
Okay.
It's easy. It's a pair.
Great. So yeah, I was like, you scared me that diads was something that you had to create.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I see that most of us are in there. Is there still someone who is struggling to get in there? No. Okay, great. Well, I'm really grateful because that we are already in there. Well, there are a lot of things that I'd like to comment on, and they are like connected with participation and with collaboration. But Right now you can just discover what can be what is there, but we will talk about it in a minute. So if you have any questions, just wait a bit. And also this is a board that we all can recreate. So I will just guide you that the one tool that you need is on your left side. There is a panel, and the fourth button is called sticky note. And you can create a sticky note and put some of the comments in there. So I'd like us to try it a bit. If you can, create a sticky note and put it in the frame that I will call our names. So we just we know that this thing is working. Okay, there is a name. And please create a note, put a name, and put it in a frame called names.
Oops, I can't find the frame, sorry.
Okay. Well, also maybe you're discovering that the board is quite big, so you can use the scroll in and scroll out, and just to move yourself with the right button around the table.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Oh, I see it now, thank you.
Okay, good. I see that there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That most of us have names already in there. Welcome to Miro. This is one of the collaborative tools that we've worked for a bit when the coronavirus was there, and when we have an online meeting, it enables us more things than Jamboard in Google does. So. But right now we will just use the basics. So I hope you don't mind using this tool. Well, there are 3 more frames. One is called methods. Second one, facilitating participatively. And the third one, principles, values, and theories. We are going to right now in a minute, going back into the Zoom and just share the stories and share the moments of participation. And I will just try to talk about the values and methods if I see some of them in what you're saying. Yeah. So this is what will happen for the last hour. And after the seminar, I will leave you with the Jamboard, so you can actually dive deeply into that. Well, some of the methods and values and principles have some commentaries and the resources to study further on. Because in this seminar, I just like to see the broad scale of what could be the methods, what could be the principles and values, and what could be the facilitation techniques. But we don't have I think time to move more deeply into that one. Yeah. So regarding the Miro, is it clear, or do we need any more technical info? Yeah, I see that you're nodding. Great. So right now, Rosa, yeah, this is not hands up. This is just it's okay. Yeah. So if it's possible, let's move back to Zoom so we see each other, and just start with one of the moments that you felt quality of participation inside, and then we will try to talk and raise the methods and principles from it. Yeah. So is anyone willing to start with some of the moments?
Maybe I could start if nobody else would like to. So it was actually, it was a quite sad realization for me that I didn't have too many moments to recognize. And what Bohumia said at the beginning, that we have to deal with our history and that we have too many hierarchical systems. And that's why it was a hard question for me. But my moment was when I lived in a student hostel during the high school, because my place of residence was quite far from the school. So a lot of peers of mine and me lived in a student hostel. And it gave us more freedom than school, I think. So they gave us more choice to organize our own programs and took initiative. And I think that was that's the most important point in my story, that we experienced what is it like to take initiative, and that they encouraged us to take initiatives. So yeah, that was my moment.
Yeah, thank you. So what we can bring, like what we can name from this, like that participation happened when they invited you to actually like choose freely what you want to take or what you want to study.
Yeah, I think we did not we, but some students who were a few years older than us, and we saw that they could do this. And after this, we were encouraged enough to tell to our teachers that okay, we would like to do this, and they said, okay, so what's your plan? How would you like to do this? And let's do this.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was. I couldn't say that they encouraged us or it was our initiative. Maybe it was mixed a little bit.
Yeah, I hear that what helped was a mix like of encouragement and support from the teachers for the freedom, and then your own initiative that you could like try on. Yeah. And I'd like to move to the first thing that you've said, because like you were talking, you talked that in history, like there were a lot of barriers that disabled participation that were connected with hierarchy. So I just like to comment on the first principle, like in this seminar, which comes from the critical education, and you can find it in a principles frame in Miro later. And this is like the mode of education that the authoritative regimes like created, and which Paulo Freire, like one of the educational philosophists, commented on, is the banking educational model, which is a model in which the students are taken just as objects into which and they are filled with the information and data and another values that the teachers and that the system is putting in them, so they can later on take these values like for themselves. Like this is why they call it the banking education system, where students are seen just an accounts as an objects filled by the teacher. And this is a model that was created or rose in authoritarian models. Like in Europe, it began, I think, like around 18th century with Maria Theresia and with another, that created the educational system in which the students were just objects and not subjects. And we still somehow, like when we try to analyze our system nowadays, tend to build our experiences and our education on this system, which is the banking educational system, and which also disables us to move more to participation techniques, because like the mode of teaching that we know is built on the principles that are based on the the domination itself. And I see Ola in here. Hi Ola, which also was with us on critical education sessions. So I'd like to just invite you, if you have any comments on these critical aspects, that you can add it.
Yeah, I was speaking about it a little bit in our group, that basically I was with you during this critical pedagogy school done by Futuropolis, and I could totally recommend it. And yes, I guess that's the participatory experience. And yeah, like, I don't know, there was a lot happening, so it's difficult to, you know, like sum it up in like 1 minute right now. But basically, we worked in this process, like we're trying to enact Freire's theory into practice. So it means working in our groups, taking initiative, like post problems ourselves, like diagnose problems, later try to find solutions. But also, yeah, I really enjoyed one particular workshop about imagination. So use imagination while doing this. And it was really interesting, I guess, especially for, well, I say that's like a lot of Slavs are good at complaining, but I guess a lot of people, also Germans, claim they're good at complaining. So it was an amazing activity that we did, imagining 4 possible scenarios. Like we find some problems that we consider urgent. Let's say, I don't know, lack of dentists in the area. And then we figure out like 4 scenarios, like dystopian, utopian, like realistic, desirable, and realistic, undesirable. And it's really good to see that we very often are, I guess for me, it was really, really good to realize that we are really good at thinking up as on everyday basis because of the banking model of education, as you mentioned, probably, that we're very good at imagining all the impossible things and all the obstacles, right? But we very rarely do we do this kind of imagination activity that aims at creating some basically, you know, solutions that are possible with you to this kind of utopia. What is really possible? What is impossible, but really like maybe the dream situation. But we can also at the same time create some solutions that can be kind of on the way to this utopia. So this
I'll
was
just like stop you.
Okay.
Is it like just move to the last sentences so I can like sum it up a bit? Thank you.
Yeah. I'm supposed to, or you want to sum it up?
I just like to make a connection, because like now thank you. You brought like another experience that you had and that you connected with the banking education model. I know that this may sound new, like the banking education model, so we'll just like stay with it a minute more. Yeah, you said that in this model where the hierarchy and has the dominance, or like the education is based on hierarchy, it also disables students to actually create futures or dream about new futures that are wanted, because in the old educational system based on the banking and dominancy, there is a vision that the authorities are like creating and telling, and it is not the students that are creating the visions for themselves. So when we also some of the methods and techniques were like more like need more participatory education, we need to bring the visions and the imaginations of the different world into the education itself. And then not only to imagine, but imagine together and share the imaginations. So we can like connect and create the visions that are like more common or like connected. And this is some kind of one of the
if I may, this is exactly what Freire calls that this is about agency, and students are deprived of the sense of agency in the model in this kind of hierarchical banking model, right? Because what? Yeah, because like you've said, that this is the authorities that are responsible for creating the, but also at the same time, students are learned that they are not only responsible for the positive things, but also for everything that is negative. And this like kind of agency is taken away from us. And we have a sense, and this is what Freire writes, right, in the Pedagogy of the Press, that later on people have a sense of total predetermination. And I see it in practice. I see it in practice in people who went through school, for the school system. And, you know, yeah. So sorry. I feel really emotional about it. So.
I hear that it has like a great energy with you, like that you would be able to talk about that.
No, it's ADHD. Sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you for the commentaries. And I understand that we dived maybe too quickly into philosophy and into theories. So I will just like make a space for the another commentaries. If this made any sense, or like what else do we need to understand maybe one of the aspects of participation, which is that banking educational system is blocking it, like is blocking participation because of the authority, blocking agency, blocking visions, blocking imagination. So what do we need more to actually stay with it and understand it?
Is that question what blocks participation?
Well, now we moved into the question like what blocks participation, and banking educational model, which is based on authority and dominance, where teacher speaks, student listen, is the barrier itself for participation, because then students have no agency, have no ability to create visions, have no ability to tell what they need. So we moved into this one, and I just like want to ask if it's clear or if it needs any more dialogue or understanding. Yeah,
it's clear.
It's clear?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, then I believe we can move to the next moments when you felt participation, and name maybe more aspects. So any other willing to share their moments of participation?
I can contribute with something.
Thank you.
Yeah, in our session with sorry for my pronunciation, Conte. No, sorry. So probably it was completely wrong.
Okay, it's Rico. I'm Rico.
So it's in another way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah, Rika shared her very interesting experience in Waldorf Concept School. And actually the motivation of students when like they shared the interest when they were actually able to express their shared like interest and to work on it. And it was like very similar like to my experience, because like my experience, I do not work with children, actually with kids, but with like adult people. And I share the experience of my like NGO NaZemi, when we worked together with inhabitants of Brno, with people who are not actually activists at all. At the moment where our like local politicians wanted to adopt a new urban plan, which was completely wrong from the side of ecology and environmental future and environmental things. So yeah, so we were able actually to not educate them, but let them to be a part of the change, and to actually create a case which were put to the curse. It was like inhabitants of Brno versus politicians of Brno, and actually we won the trial. And it was very complicated issue, because it was necessary to actually you know, to say to those people who are not fan of NGOs, who are not fan of green solutions, so to find the shared interest, to actually create their inner motivation to join their power with NGOs who usually they don't like at all because it's usually older people and so on.
That sounds like a barrier, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And actually it was possible in the end that we were like on one side, very like a mix of different people on one side and politicians on the other side. And this feeling that we were able to win because this very, very stupid urban plan wasn't actually accepted. So this feeling was very inspiring for all participants, even for those people who don't want to meet us at all, nevermore.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to ask, like, do you remember what helped to become one group between?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you and,
It was not speaking about climate change, about environmental issues, but it was necessary to speak about their tree, which is like next to their house, about their gardens, about the parks they are used to use for walking with their kids, with their dogs, about like those things which are very close to them, very, very well known, which is, yeah, so that was the expression of shared interest.
Okay, okay. Well, this I believe that if we want to bring any principles and techniques from that I believe that I hear one of the principle that is really like important in this one, which is in the education and in working like participatory way, always connect the problems with the lives of the people that we are
and with the
working
needs of the people, so with the needs of the children, because speaking
Yes.
about climate change could be very abstract.
Mhm,
So let's speak about the animals the kids love or whatever.
And maybe just the question: how did you started to have this dialogue, about the dialogue
Yeah,
about the
we have to find local actors, which was not of our like social bubble. So it was like local actors and who actually have the power or have the authority of those people who are not, you know, in our social bubble.
So it sounds to me that you had to find a partners to actually like
Exactly.
yeah. Maybe I'd like to share a screen and move to the Miro. I don't know if it's possible in here. I hope. Yeah, it is. Well, in the collaborative experience that we have like when working in schools, one of the principles that is helping us a lot, actually like to mix the groups together, to find a common cause, to find a solution that works for everyone, to move to the decisions that everyone is okay with. We actually in NaZemi try to move from the decision making made from preference to decision making made on willingness. And maybe it is sounding more distant from the Pavla right now shared, but I want to make a connection. When we began to actually talk about the needs and situation of the people that we are working with students, it means talking about gender or like connecting the gender to the topics that we want to talk in schools, or like talking about the situation that is happening inside their homes or in their scout groups and other things. When you like are able to bring the experience of the kids into the education, then the willingness to participate together arises. And so when the needs and problems like are heard, then the willingness to participate together arises, because then their needs are heard. And in decision making, we and this is one of the barriers, we are usually taught to make decision based on the preference, like would you rather prefer this ending or this ending? would you rather prefer to have the pizza or the pasta together at lunch? We in our culture are based our decisions on the preferences. But when we try to create our decisioning on the willingness, would you be willing to have pasta over the pizza, or would you be willing to accept some of the solutions if the needs are heard and if the problem of the people is understood? Then the willingness arises to actually make the to actually be enabled to decide together. And I don't know if it's I'm a bit struggling with the language, so I will just like to bring one experience that we've had in NaZemi when we were fighting a lot about the name of one group. It was like a group full of lecturers, and we wanted a name really badly because we didn't have a name, and there were like 10 names that we wanted. And we couldn't decide together if we wanted this name or this name, like we were stuck. But then the idea happened, what if we based our decision on a willingness? So we first asked if we are willing to have, not if we prefer, but if we are willing to have this name or this name or this name. And then we only had to discuss the barriers and obstacles for the willingness. I don't know how to take it. Oh, if we have a problem with this name, for example, and when we understood the problems behind the names, then we were more willing to accept the name together. But it was not based on the not based on the preference, but on the willingness. Well, Ola, you have a questions. Maybe you will help me to become more clear.
No, sorry, I don't have a question. I have a comment. I'd really like to say about something similar as you're mentioning right now, but the way of making participatory decisions, but in a political context. And in Poland, there is one guy called Marcin Gerwin, and I would totally like to invite him to the Czech Republic, but so far, I don't know. The people I talked to are not that excited about it. He organizes, or he did organize, actually he worked with it at the theoretical and practical level. I'm talking about whatever it's called, civic assemblies or civic panel. I'm not sure exactly how to translate it to English. I don't know if you know what it is about, but basically he, for example, made it happen in Gdańsk, and it's exactly what you've mentioned, that it's about something more serious than a name, about basing decisions, like finding consensus, not just a compromise. And it was, for example, implemented in Gdańsk, because in Gdańsk we had floods every now and then because of heavy rain, whatever. And it turned out, that the city was built in such a way that there was a lot of concrete. So water didn't, bad developing, bad urban planning, to relate a little bit to what Pavla was talking about. And one time, in one flood, it was a very horrible experience that the people who came to rescue basically focused on rescuing what is called a gallery, which means a shopping mall, and at the expense of regular people. So after that, people were involved to figure out together what they would want. And they had something like a civic assembly, which meant that they had I don't know, they invited 150 people or more. Basically, it was done in this way that people from different walks of life were supposed to apply, so that they had a different groups, different interest groups, different kind of people, and they were supposed to debate for a few, I think days even, and they were supposed to make an informed decision. So basically, they also invited experts from different different interest areas. So it means the city hall. It means experts on flood security, whatever, and I don't know, environment, finances, and so people, after listening to all of these, were supposed to debate and figure out the best, the viable solution. And they did. And what happened was that they actually were supposed to do something very simple as put the sandbags in a suitable time. when they knew there was, you know, like risk of flood. So, and it just happened this way. And before, like it happened yearly, and there were a lot of, like, obviously a lot of costs, a lot of damage, like every year. So
Yeah, well,
I don't.
I just
Yeah,
like
that's it. I'm done. So this is something that could work. I guess it's a very good experience example of what you've mentioned, but in practice about politics. Yeah.
I didn't catch the connection between like the deciding on the willingness, but
People were on willingness. People were supposed to take the decision. Normally, people are asked to make a compromise or choose a lesser evil. Here, you got a group of people who are supposed to make a decision. Basically, yes, on what we want, what is viable, not what we prefer, or you know, choose between some solutions that are imposed on us. They were supposed to work out, like regular people were supposed to work out solutions, but based on informed decisions, right? So some, you know, people, experts from different areas showing their views. And that's how it worked.
More.
Okay,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah.
Now I understand more. Like what helped in here was like that the people had information through the experts or other things, another people to actually that they could decide what was the best for everyone, like for the community or for the area.
But they were also supposed to figure out on their own, like given all this information. Yeah. So this was this kind of participatory experience, and you involved people from different areas, people of different, you know, like social groups. So it wasn't, you know, a decision made by the experts imposed on the people. No. Yeah. Like all the aspects were taken into consideration.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I believe that if any more comments, please be okay with asking questions or like stopping it and posing it. If something does not make any sense, if you do see the connection of or if what I'm telling is not doesn't make sense in a moment, so please do. Otherwise, I would go to another methods and another principles. Is it okay? Yeah. Great. Thank you. Well, I'd like to ask if anyone in this group had the experience of participation in schools or in the context of education. So we can have like the example that would lead us more into this direction. Yeah, Rosa. Great. And Susa, can you, Rosa or Susa, share some of the moments of participation?
Maybe that was not Rosa, but me, Rika. Rosa, was it you? It's you. Is it you?
It's me. Yeah. Okay, I can start. I work as a teacher in a free democratic school. And maybe I can mention the example of participation. For example, a school council. It's a democratic organ. Everybody has an equal vote at the council, teachers or other staff members and children. And we discuss lots of topics like, I don't know, creating a new rule or a school trip or the budget for the month or visitors, or if we want to buy new equipment for the school, or it can be also some behavior which someone doesn't like. And yeah, and it's not obligatory, but everybody has to follow the outcome of the council.
Yeah, great. So now we hear like a technique or like the method that what I understand is it creates space to actually talk about the matter that happens in schools, in school, about planning is just one bit, but then solving conflicts and talking about needs are the like other things that happen at the council, and that helps us.
Yeah, maybe to clarify, we have also different organ just for problem and conflict solving. It's called committee, but when committee cannot solve or help the people in conflict, then the topic goes also for the council. Yeah, but as you said, it's a tool where people can meet and influence the running of the school or what's happening at the school. It doesn't matter if children or adults.
Great, thank you. I know, Susan, that you breathe it a bit. Do you like to add something?
Well, I would have said the similar things than Rosa, because I also work in a democratic school, but it was Reka who wanted to say something. I would like to pass it to Reka.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm just, my case was, I am not a teacher. I'm a biologist and an educator somewhere else. And formerly I was the chief designer of city district climate strategy. And a year after, I was asked from that school, Solymár Waldorf School, to give a thematic day event for the senior students there. And it was a class of 20 youngs. And my situation, I was asked to give them a lecture or something, anything I want, about climate adaptation. And my thought was, my plan was that I create a learning situation for them, for the pupils, that they are the citizens of the village, of a little town, and they have the opportunity to take part in the strategic planning of Solymár, that village, of Solymár's climate strategy. And that was my situation. And I had about 3 hours only for that. And I offered them, and I thought that they know many things about climate change and the things and the village and everything. And they didn't. Some of them, yes, but many of them not. And they really don't want to make this situation as they are in the village council, and they just hands up and they say as they are a village people, and they want to do something with the major or the strategy. But instead of this, they just wanted to talk about the situation in that village. And I, of course, I accepted that. I couldn't do anything else, of course. It was okay. And the main reason, I think the main reason, 2 reasons. I hadn't enough knowledge about the preparedness to climate change topic. And I didn't have enough time for it. I had only 3 hours, and it was an idea that I can make a situation like a civil panel with them. But another purpose of me was that they would be more prepared to the time when they will be asked about what to do with this village, what shall we do in the climate change era. So that was my story. And it's not on the highest level of the participatory ladder. It's only about about the middle of that ladder. But another comment from me to the whole of us, that in Hungary we just had a political era when, for example, the national curriculum, and we have a new national curriculum in effect since 2020 about where critical thinking, the term critical thinking was changed totally, all around the document was changed to reflective or deliberative thinking. So we have no critical thinking in the national curriculum now. after 20 years. So that was my story. Thanks.
Well, that is one unhappy story about transition, like in curriculum, and as I understand it, and one in which you like let the students experience the you invited them into some kind of like a role play or
yes, a situation maybe. Yes, I know that the time is too short for a role play, but that they could speak as they want, as a baker or a teacher or a student, anyhow, as they wanted, but they didn't shoulder this. They just speak about themselves.
Well, thank you. Like this remind me of one of the things that in participation that is happening with us like in schools, and then that is when we bring one of the methods that are participatory, what happens is that we somehow like lose the ends or like lose the outcome, because the outcome then in participative models and methods is recreated by kids, like or like by the students, because then because now it is them who are using their own knowledge and their own emotions and their own like dreams and visions, and if they are like not prepared, or like they don't want to like talk about climate change, or like they don't have like much data, they will talk about what is needed in their life if they have a space and support for that. So like being participatory educator somehow means like to lose the control of the outcome.
It's okay. It's okay. I knew it before. I had some purposes, but one of them is okay for me, because they became more prepared for climate change, community planning situation.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just like trying to put out the principle so we can like talk about it and hear it. So this is one of the principles. And the second one that I'm hearing is that then you've talked about, or maybe it not happened, but then you maybe saw another outcome, which was like more preparation for the life in the village itself. Or not in the village, sorry, but just like talking about what matters to them, which maybe like prepared them for another things. Yeah, and I'd like to make a zoom into the methods a bit, because I understand that we have like 20 minutes in front of us, and I'd like to comment a bit the table in Miro, so you can actually use it after the seminar ends. So, no. Oh, I see now that Ola is catching her plane. So hi, Ola. And I will just share the screen again and catch an eye on the methods. We actually in NaZemi use like 1 or 3 or 4 methods that are collaborative and participatory, and we just like change them a lot, and we don't use much more. It is just like more about values that we have. But the methods that we are using a lot is open space, which is the space in like 15 or more people can gather for 3 hours or for 3 days and talk about the problems that that want to talk about. Like the open space needs a lot of facilitators who are like helping the process, and the aim is to create a small spaces in which small groups based on their preference talk about the topics that they want to talk about. So we are hosting like the open spaces about climate education in Czech Republic, and it looks like that like 40 people, 30 people, which are educators in Czech Republic about climate change, are coming at one space, and for 3 days we in the 3 days, we find the topics that we want to talk about, create spaces for them, and then execute them. So this whole seminar is somehow like from the small gatherings of people talking about things that they want. And even though that the outcome is really loose and we don't know what questions will be discussed much, it enables us to mix people together and find new synergies and energies together. So we also try it like not only with the educators, but also in schools. So we come to schools and create open spaces on the topics on climate change and on the problems on climate change. So the students can openly like create questions and invite their colleagues and other students to talk about those questions. And through these like hours or days, we just facilitate the process and facilitate the learning process. So this method we use a lot. The another one that I would like to put an eye on is the or maybe the way of the council or the counseling, or I don't know how to say it properly, but the gathering of people in one circle and letting the magic happens in which the people like share stories and share like emotions and share like their visions on the problems that they are like addressing. So with students we talk about in this group, it usually takes a group around fire. So we talk about around fire like in all days, and we share, for example, our hopes for the future, or we share like what helped us to overcome some of the barriers that we were like feeling during the coronavirus. And this praxis enables for the students to actually feel together, and it creates something like shared wisdom or shared body, which means that they not only like connect on the base of the rationality and the cognition, but they also like connect more on the feelings and needs, and they understand themselves and the other ones also better. So these ones we are using when we try to like bring the group together. And the third one that I like to put an eye on is the diets, which I believe Reka asked in the beginning. And it is not the thing that we did here in seminar as the first one, but this method enables us to talk in pairs in a way that there is, for example, a questions, how are you feeling right now? And the one person shares what he or she has to share, like whatever happens, whatever comes in mind, whatever emotions and feelings. And the other one is just like listening, actively listening to what the other one is sharing. And then after 2 or 5 minutes, 3 minutes, they just switch the roles. It sounds really easy, but there is a high effectivity in this, which lies in the fact that one has the time and space to actually think, to connect with himself, herself, and to share it to the another. And there is another one who is responding by just actively listening and just like accepting them absolutely. And this has a effect in some of the ways, like it enables like it enables to feel confident and to feel safe. And also in seminars or in work groups or in our work in which we are doing it quite often, it enables us to have information about the people in a group, like where are we, what do we want, is there anyone who needs more care, is there anyone who needs to talk about another topic which is like really difficult for him or her? So the dyads are like connecting people, helping to connect with ourselves also, like emotionally, and helping to bring information about where the group is, which then helps the facilitators to know like where to go, because in collaborative praxis, we need to go usually where the energy is. Yeah. And then there are like another methods which I don't want to talk about unless you want. And this is like per action cafe, work cafe. These two are like aiming at facilitating a dialogue about some of the problems and how to solve them. And then there are like some discussion techniques like aquarium dialogue or river dialogue. And we can talk about it like later. No, not later, but you can read the description in the Miro. Yeah. So these are the methods, and I also heard from Rosa like the method of the council, which means like to have a facilitated space for dealing with the things that we need to deal with. Yeah, in democratic schools, it is highly used. But I don't know, Rosa, how it's pronounced. So maybe I didn't want it. So just retype it if you want. Yeah. So these are the methods that that we are using. And is there anything I need to comment more on? I see no hands raised. Well, if it makes sense, I'd like to move just to not facilitators.
I think that, sorry for disturbing, but Reka.
Yes, I have one more method. Maybe it's in there, but I can't find it. I'm usually working with adults on sustainable development, and I really like game situations.
Yes, yes.
Is it there somewhere?
Yes, there can be. Thank you. Like, let's put it in there. Like, because I just like put it methods that are helping to lead a discussion and a dialogue, but the methods that enable us to play games and to be in roles and
games
to,
initiate a lot of communication. Games initiate communication.
Yes, yes, true.
Well, that's why I'm using it.
Thank you. Maybe together with this, I'd like to move to the principles for a bit, and just like comment on the principles so you can like you can look at them later. And these sorry. Yeah, I'm here. And I believe that we talked a bit about some of the principles, like we talked about the principle of banking educational model, which is the barrier itself, like the way of thinking and way of educating, a barrier to participative education. This is a barrier where there is strict division of who has the knowledge and who has not the knowledge, or who is full or who is not full. And with these like divisions, there is no like the democracy is hard to happen actually, like because it's the people are on the same level. So in collaborative praxis, we try to move like from the autocratic models where we know everything. This is like this is extreme. I'm talking about extremes, not that we are bad persons or bad teachers. I'm talking about like the extreme model in which like the teachers use their knowledge to put it in the children and then to ask for the knowledge to bring it back. And in collaborative models, we try to move a bit to be more facilitators of the process, or to be more like the democratic authority. we like the term, or like we use it in our educational group, because democratic authority enables us to not lose the authority that we have, because we have the privilege to actually move around, to organize people, to pose ourselves as teachers. So we don't want to use the authority. We don't want to lose the authority, sorry. But it's just like we want to rename the authority so it can be democratical. So we can like be authoritative in the way that leads to more democracy and leads to more freedom. So with our way of teaching, the democracy would be the next step. Yeah, so the democratic authority is just like the reframing for us, the name, our role, like because we don't want to lose the power to actually do stuff. We just like want to use it more democratically. Then I believe that we talked already about the imagination and its role. Then that imagination itself has the empowering potential to overcome the feeling that the world is pre-made for us and that we cannot change it. Oh no, like we can change it if we like try to involve imaginative techniques. And what I want to like connect with what Reka said about games is that the principle that we are using in collaborative education is that we see students as they carry their own knowledge, and a new knowledge can only be created if the dialogue happens, if the dialogue between them and reality, if the dialogue between them and them, if they see some kind of like changes, or like if they see some kind of like new experience that they need to they need to implement. So we are like try to be constructivists in a way that the knowledge is created by the students themselves and also in dialogue with the others. So with this, the knowledge that we create in schools in collaborative way cannot be individualistic, but is always shared. The knowledge is always like somehow the matter of the context and another people. So individualistic testing of the kids does not make pretty much sense, because the knowledge itself is created in a context and together with another people. So, and I believe that this is one of the traps that we are entrapped, seeing knowledge only as individualistic, in individualistic way. So these principles helps us to understand like how important it is to collaborate and to create knowledge together. And then the last principle that I want to like pick is the principle of critical inquiry, or like I can maybe change in a bit the name, the problem posing, which is in collaboration. There is usually when we try to solve some of the problems of our lives, there is happening a process in which it gets more complicated or complex, or in which we don't want to talk about the problem because it's emotional for us, or because it creates divisions and conflicts. But in climate change, it happens. In when we talk about gender, it happens. When we talk about inequality, it happens. Like we always move into the place where the conflict begins. But we as collaborative educators try not to be problem solving, just solving the problems that we have, but to pose the problems that we stand in front of, which means that we need to stay with the hard emotions and with the hard process when we are having a dialogue, having a conflict, and just like try to understand the needs that we have. And also try to understand with this going to the deeper understanding of the problem. Because like when we try to solve the problems only with naive understanding, we move just to solutions that are naive and that are just like reinforcing the problem to happen again. But when we have the capacity to stay with the problem, to understand how hard it is for us, and what are the deeper causes of the problem, then we are able to be more to find solutions that are more like systemic or deeper, and that could actually solve the problems that we are staying in front of. Yeah. If you want to find out more about the this how to pose with the problem, then you can read some of the text on a grown zone, which is the facilitation technique and understanding of how to stay with the problems when they happen, and how to stay with the group that is in conflict or is trying to find a solution, but is not there yet. Yeah. So with this, I just wanted to comment on the table and stop sharing a bit. I'd like to leave the table for you. I've put resources to the topics and to the values and principles, so you can study further on. And I'd like to leave. I don't know how much time we have, but I'd like to leave 1-2 minutes just to reflect, with what you leave in from this seminar. Yeah, I understand. For me, it was a new experience, and I'm really curious, what is happening with you, because I have pretty much not much idea. So I would be very, really happy for your reflections, just 2 or 3 reflections. Thank you.
May I?
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, I'm full of inspiration, so thank you. And after what you said, Daniel, my reflection is first, the way as we asking the questions. Yes, you are talking about pizza and pasta example, yes, and I think that the participation also depends on the other side. So the side of author or teacher. How do you ask the questions and how do you involve others, your students and pupils? Yes, and that's and I don't know if I understood correctly the democratic authority that you like it. This is the good example, yeah, the method, yes, the principle.
Yeah, this is a principle. Yeah,
principle. Mm-hmm. I would not agree, because after all today's seminary, I think that we, in participative approach, we should create a more partner approach. So all the words with authority, all the distance and barrier between student and teacher are wrong in basic.
So just because of the time, I would love to let you finish, but just because of the time, I'd like to comment briefly. Yeah, I hear that the word authority is really hard for you to take, because you need the education full of respect,
more partnership, more partnership. But
yes,
please,
yes.
Daniel, one sentence. Let me just say one sentence. You told it's not to you, of course, personally. We are talking about ideas and values and everything. So, but based what you told, you feel good if the group feel that has one authority or facilitator. Yes, and comes to my mind that in the field of partnership, we should operating not the formal authority that you gave, that this was given to you as facilitator, but the truly authority that you build in your group.
Yes.
So keeping the partnership relation with all group, all class and everything, you are building your authority as a partner. It was not giving to you as a formal authority, and I think that's how we open the participatory approach. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank for the commentary. I think like I actually agree a lot. So I'm a bit sad that we don't have a time to actually elaborate on this one later. But maybe Pavla will tell us if there will be like more space to talk about these things for the one who are willing. But first, maybe let's. Do we have like time for one more reflection? Is it okay?
Actually, it's not a question to me. It's a question for the others. Like
Okay,
for me personally, probably I would have to run because I have another like a work meeting. But I think like for those who are okay to stay here a bit, it is absolutely okay to continue the discussion.
Great. So you don't have like, you as a group don't have a like tight schedule that would go after this one.
You are the last point in our schedule.
Last one. Okay, good. This is a good place to start. Yeah. So some of the people are saying that they can stay longer for a bit, but I'd like to make a space for like one more reflections and then ending the session. So the one that don't have a time can go, and the ones that have a time and willingness to talk about it more can stay like for another 15-20 minutes. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see some of you nodding a bit. Great. So can I just like have one more reflection and then closing this session up and then opening the dialogue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really excited. You opened a new window, and I see how much reading I must be doing soon on participation. So thank you for all the info. And I was wondering how on earth I didn't know about it. I don't know. So thank you.
Okay, I'm happy that window opened. Yeah, well, thanks for the reflections. And now we would say hi to, I believe, Pavla and the others that need to go. Yeah, maybe the ones that are leaving, would you like to add some reflection also? You don't have to, you can just go, feel free. Yeah, okay, then goodbye. And hi, and we'll see like with whom we are going to stay in here.
I'm really sorry, but I would love to stay here, but I really have to go. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you, the survivors. There are like 3 of you, which is like absolutely great. And yeah, see you tomorrow, Suza.
Yeah,
I will
great.
be in touch
Thank
with you regarding tomorrow's program, because I supposed to be at the Hungarian session. Yeah, by email. Bye.
Cheers. Okay, thank you, Pavla. Bye.
Bye.
So hello to the survivors. I believe I have like 20 minutes more, and I would love to go and at 15:30. Is it okay? Yeah, this is the latest option for me. So yeah, we have time until that.
It's the latest for me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I see a question in the chat from Reka about the shared care in the table principles. So I have this in mind, but I first would love to like answer to Jarek and about the democratic authority, just to have like to close things up before we open others. Is it okay? Yeah. Well, so just like briefly mine thoughts about democratic authority is when I go to school as a teacher right now in this system right now, I have some of the privileges that I than the students. Like this is not my I didn't cause it. It is just like the situational context that I go into the school as a teacher, and I have more space to move, more things to talk. I have the power to actually create assemblies, to bring topics, and which students don't have, which is not partnership. Like this is not participatory, and but it is a situation in our context in Czech Republic. So when we, as NaZemi, are invited into the schools, we need to use these privileges in a way that could destroy or recreate the education, like the education or the that could create the things that you said, like the common respect and partnership and intimacy and trust. And this, like this process, using the status and using the privileges that we have in schools right now to recreate the education, to build more on trust and understanding and partnership, is what Ira Shore, the author of the term, called democratic authority. So it is just like using the privilege to recreate education, that it can be more democratical. Yeah, but I absolutely agree with what you were saying about the partnership. That, like, when I go to the school, I have to act, if I want to collaborate, I have to act in a way that builds trust between me and the students and be in a dialogue. So it is just like more like how to use the status. Okay. What do you think, Jarek, now?
Oh, I think that it's the name is quite tricky, you know, the term itself, because it's kind of opposite. It consists of opposite: democratic authority. Okay, it's a tricky name, so it could be confused for some people, you know, and it's for me it's opposites. These two words are almost opposites, exclude each other. So I understand, and of course I understand idea. I didn't know the author of this term and the meaning behind it, but that's why it was all how it sounds. It was in opposition with approach, with this approach where we are talking about. So one sentence. I'm from Poland, where children at school didn't have so much to say in opposite to teacher. Yeah. But it is a very it's a global change. The young generation is open, and it's open to express their feelings, their thoughts, and this model, this old model, I think it's changing. On the first on the side of teacher, and second maybe more on the side of pupils and students, because we as parents we encourage children, speak what you think, talk about your feelings, please tell me what you need, and they bring it to schools. And also it's changed the educational system for more participatory system, because the change is going in these two paths: one, children, and second, teacher.
Thank you. Right, I would just like one notion. I thank you for the comments, because like the democratic authority is really paradoxical. So thank you for commenting on that. It is paradoxical, like to have democracy and authority in one name. And thank you also for the commentary on what changes do you see in education? Yeah, but I'd like to make a space for more comments on other topics, because we have 15 minutes. So if it's okay, I'd like to move like to the next ones. And I know that Reka, you asked on the shared care as a principle, so I will just like briefly comment on it. It is one of the we create a seminar for the educators in our organization, and what helped us was to put the, I don't know, to bring the to invite the participants into the organization itself, so that they are now helping us during the pauses to tell if the time is up, or they are like helping us and helping the whole group to prepare the food for the seminar, and they are helping to, I don't know, to write on the tables when the dialogue is happening, and we want some outcomes, that they are the ones that that are writing the texts, or they are writing the outcomes. And I just like want to illustrate that the collaboration gains power when the students and participants are invited to the organizational processes, even though if the organization processes are like more technical, like helping with the space, because like we are giving then the autonomy to the participants and the ability to help and to have their time meaningful for themselves and the others. And also we elevate from ourselves the accountability that we have and the number of tasks, so we will be more free and we will have more time for the things we want as educators. And also and that's that, and we create the seminar more together, like so this is just like what I wanted to say, that we in NaZemi
I would put it to the methods. I would put share care to the methods instead of principles, and it's only my comment.
I would put the into the methods. You mean like because it's practical, because it's practical, so you would move that in there. Yeah, and for me it is still on the basis of a principle, that it is a method, but is as a principle to create more collaborative space in which we create things more together.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So, but I will copy it and put it in there. And now we have 15 minutes for another things to talk about. So, what do you have in mind, if or another reflections?
May I? If we create all ideal participative approach, how to encourage students and people to take part in it. I mean, how to encourage them to make a voice and not saying, I don't care. So this is the next step, I think, very important. How to, if you create the system, how to involve all the participators.
Yeah. This is a question that we can elaborate a bit. Like, I believe that some of these things we touched a bit, but we can like bring some principles or bring some tips that we have. So, do we have any ideas? Like, what are the next steps?
I think that what we were talking about, and Ola has given the examples, and everyone, that I will stay with the partnership approach. So if we have some scientists and authorities which should be on one side, and the students and pupils on the other sides, I think we should make them on the same level, but we should create the open system. So the knowledge from the specialists, from the scientists should flow through the students and people in order to realize them that they are the part of solution. Their voice is important. They can take part of decision on everything, climate change, politics, urban planning, and everything. So I stay with my position to not to use any authorities. We are on the same level, but we should make the flow, the flow, the knowledge from the scientists and specialists.
You are asking, you are asking to like make the knowledge and expert knowledge more democratical. So like the information.
So to create the open system, not to give the license for knowledge only to authorities, but the same to the pupils and students.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think if they will realize to get this knowledge that they are the students are the part of solution, their voice matters, and I think that encourage them to participate.
Yeah, there is one principle that I'd like to put out from what you are saying, and that is for making the participation working, like we need to invite the students or the ones that don't have a voice right now into dialogue about solutions and dialogue about problems. So like for me, this happens when in education we actually, like, for example, in classroom, if the topics of the classroom would be connected with the lives of the students, for example, that we have the garden together that is not well pretty much cared of, or that we have like some of the parts in the city that we don't want to walk in them. If we like talk about the problems and situations around the place where we live, or about the things that we live in, and talk about these problems, then we somehow like create this flow, right? Because we would try to solve the problems around us with me as the teacher, for example, or with another ones as experts, and try to like create this space in the classroom. Because I think it is hard to actually invite children for the processes on the state level or like at the level of the city. It can be done, but the question is like, what can we do in classrooms so we can like reproduce the ideas of democracy? Okay, and I'm inviting for more ideas and questions into this place. Yeah.
Maybe I can comment a bit. As I mentioned, I work as a teacher in school, and from my experience, some children, they just need time to gain the trust that me as a teacher, I'm saying you can actually change things, you can decide on your own and so on, but it's not usual approach, and they need time to actually experience that it's possible. So, and that it's also possible, like decide that I don't have to participate. Maybe I can just watch, or I can do nothing, and nobody will manipulate me or push me to do something or be active. So maybe it's also another option to give them actually the opportunity not take the part. I know that it's not really the topic of the workshop, but for me it's like it's actually part of the freedom that I can choose not to be in. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. I just like quick commentation, because I think we live in paradoxes, and somehow like it is a paradox, right? Like when you give someone the freedom not to do the things and not to do anything, like the motivation arises. It is somehow like more Taoistic, acting by non-acting, doing by not doing. Yeah.
So I will ask a question. If someone, as Rosa mentioned, doesn't take a part in discussion, let's say, can we say that he doesn't participate? I mean, you know what I mean. If someone is just observer and doing things on his own, not to express the opinion, like not to take a part in action, can we say that he doesn't participate? Because
Understood.
I think it's not so obvious.
Do you have any other ones, any insights on this?
I mean, someone could take all the atmosphere and knowledge from the room to, I don't know, to his home and to his society when someone feels more powerful or more encouraged to do. But I think in class, some children needs more time, some children needs less time, but I would say if they doesn't take part in the discussion, we can't say that they don't participate. That's all. Sorry.
Yeah. Suza?
Well, I don't know whether participation must be active or could be passive. But I think if the person who doesn't do anything is aware of the consequences of it, then it could be participation, in my opinion. It's not apathy, it's not ignorance, it's consciously staying out. It could be a situation when it's appropriate. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. For me, like, if I know the motives why the person does not want to involve, like if I know the information why he does not want to involve in the dialogue, then it is a participation for me, like, because I have maybe it is not a question if he's participatory or not, like maybe I don't care then. I just like want to know that he's okay and he's doing his own business that is meaningful for him, and as Suza says, and then he know the consequences of what does it mean that he's not involved, and then so I can stay in, so the group stays, like the important for me is that the group stays, even though that some of the people divide for a time, but so then I can live with that. The problem would be if this dividing would divide the group itself. Yeah. Do we have some any more questions and comments that we want to like pick up? We have like 3 or 4 minutes to end up, so maybe like one short space, but still we can do something.
One sentence. As Suza says, maybe there is a term of active or passive participation. I would say maybe it should be also positive and negative participation.
Like negative in a ways that it destroys participation? Or?
No, negative if we are talking about climate changes, yes, and we have a group of people and we are trying to engage them. Some of the group by decision, one or two people, they will get the background knowledge. What are the consequences? We are doing now as humanity, and after considering that they know all about this, they decided not to do anything. Leave it as it is, not to take an action, like to take an action for the positive solution. You know, I'm just sorry, maybe I'm going too far. But I'm just dropping something on the table. So giving the group the same level of knowledge, the high quality knowledge about climate changes. Let's say that some of group don't take an action and they thought it's I don't care. I know everything. I know the consequences, but I will do nothing with that. I will go and buy a newest iPhone, you know. And I thought maybe there is a positive and negative participation, but it's maybe I'm going too far. So sorry for that.
As you said, you've put in something on the table, but we don't have much space to stay with the table item right now. Yeah, I don't know if there is if it helps me to divide for the positive and negative participation. Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyhow, the time is up, so I just believe that this half an hour fitted to what we needed, and we have a time to say goodbye and to the best luck of us being more participatory and collaborative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. It was my pleasure to meet you. That was fun. Thank you.
Fun. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun also. I experienced a lot of things and fun was one of them. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think I more understood participative approach. Thank you.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy to. Ahoy.
Okay.
Ahoy.
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 Ahoy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.